he posted on social media that was about 8 minutes, where he warned the American people that there could be
yeah, man. This is gonna be nasty right here, man. This one gonna be nasty, y'all. I'm telling you now. Let me go back a little bit, cause this is gonna be nasty, man. Let me see.
So it looked like he was sort of going to go into Haifa, into Israel for a port visit. We didn't see any of the bombers move to where we thought they would move. And that's because, what you remember in Midnight Hammer, you need...
There are millions of people across the Gulf now who don't have this kind of preparedness, don't have facilities, and around right now they're in an information vacuum. They can hear the sound of explosions, they can hear the sound of fighter jets, and they're not getting information because the regime has turned the internet off as to what they should do. So a situation of fear there, a situation of fear.
They turned the internet off, they shut them off, they shut them down.
Again, you have people who are not used to hearing this. There's nothing normal about hearing the sound of missiles or drones and sound of explosions. You know, I've done this job for a long time, and you see.
Trump is not playing. He's not playing. He got with Israel. It's Ramadan. You got to understand, this is going to be nasty right here.
Long after the explosion has passed. So it seems to me that we are in the early stages of a much longer operation. I think everyone you've spoken to has pretty much said that. The president has set out a very...
This is... Yeah. They wilding. They wilding right now. Yeah, they wilding. Hey, he's wilding, man. ABC News. We gotta go. We got to go. Nah, ABC News. Salute to everybody that's here, man. YouTube. I want to watch it live. ABC News. That's where I stole the thumbnail from, y'all.
Intelligence assets. What do you expect we could see in the hours and days ahead?
Some people saying Trump is bugging right now. He not bugging. The only part that they might be bugging about is Ramadan. So that's going to cause a tidal wave of other people that's going to want to get at they bombing Dubai. They bombing all the neighboring spots.
14 incoming missiles.
J. Rigo, salute.
But I would expect
Network Cali Code.
Response will be a more complex, coordinated attack, probably multi-access, probably not just 14 missiles, but a combination of cruise missiles, ballistic missiles.
Israel's bugging already. Now we got America.
Across a broader front of the Gulf. Expect the U.S. forces to do their battle damage on the initial attacks of the targets for this initial attacks that went on. And after they do the battle damage, or as they go through the second wave of attacks, expect the U.S. to continue to hit their key command and control facilities.
I can't wait till we run up in China and snatch that motherfucker up too. Double tap the screen, get lights up.
Air assets against our folks.
Let's talk more about what you expect to see from Iran, because President Trump tonight talking to the Iranian people, saying that the hour of your freedom is at hand, saying when we are finished, take over your
my boy Trump talking high shit to these people. Hold on, let me go back a little bit.
Out in the previous Midnight Hammer raids, but there's really no way to tell. We don't have anybody on.
All right, here we go.
It was focused just on the nuclear sites. The reports we're getting and the things we're seeing on video.
Now let's not forget,
quite extensive.
We already went up in there and put some straightening on them.
Sites, several of the naval bases around the Persian Gulf and the Indian Ocean have been hit. The president clearly is calling for regime change, and so the U.S. and Israel are doing everything.
We know what Trump is doing. He's trying to make the Iranians act up and take over for themselves. So they're going to be doing like a week of this shit. You know what I mean? And You know what Iran's response is? Let's bomb the people that can't, take care of themselves right now.
And again, President Trump a short time ago, along with Benjamin Netanyahu, issuing a statement, both of them sounding in chorus, talking about how they want to change the regime in Iran, talking directly
They
to
tearing
the
Iran ass
people.
up.
As we know, many protesters in the last few
Tearing
months in
Iran the fuck up.
have been killed as a direct result of the regime's crackdown. And Steve, give us an idea about the military buildup that's been going on in the region for the U.S. there and what their might is in the region.
Yeah, the U.S. has conducted, Michelle, an unprecedented military buildup. So almost half of all of the deployable U.S. air assets are now in the region. Interestingly enough, there's only one aircraft carrier in the Indian Ocean. There's another aircraft carrier.
We got half our shit out there with all these Islamic countries out here. We shouldn't have the half of our shit out there. You know what I'm saying? We not playing right now, but it's Ramadan. President Trump is a bad motherfucker. He know what type of shit could be. He know what type of backlash. But we don't give a fuck. We the baddest.
Iraq to get to Iran. So an extraordinary display of air power that only the U.S. could do. U.S. naval and U.S. Air Force air power. So it's going to be a campaign that's going to rely on those aircraft and cruise missiles for the coming days.
Steve, we're going to go to Ian Pannell, who is taking shelter in Tel Aviv after those strikes. The whole region of Israel is under a state of emergency. Ian, give us an idea, set the scene there. There were sirens earlier. You are now taking shelter.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we haven't heard this, certainly not since last June when the last military operation took place. Involving Israel, the US against Iran. We had a pre-notice, if you like, that there was a launch in the direction of Israel. It wasn't clear which city it was aimed at, and then literally just about a minute or so ago, the haunting sound of the air raid sirens.
One casualty so far.
Across a very quiet Tel Aviv, and as you can see, we've taken shelter in the stairwell. A lot of Israelis have shelters at home. Not everyone does. Larger buildings do as well, and Israelis are very used to this from Hamas attacks in the past as well as Iranian ballistic missile attacks, and everyone seems to know what to do. But I think this is just a sign of what things are going to be like over the coming days and weeks. And normal life here, for now at least, is suspended, as it is clearly in Iran. And we have to wait and see. The Iranians said very clearly before this military operation was launched that they would respond, they would retaliate against US assets in the region. We've seen a drawdown of embassy staff. You can hear that's the sound of the alert that everyone gets on their mobile phones. I don't know if I can show you here. You see, it just kind of rings out, so everyone knows that there is an alert. There's an air raid siren, and that means potentially that missiles are coming this way.
Everyone's been told across Israel that there is a state of emergency to heed those warnings. You are doing that in the shelter. We just heard from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu just a short time ago in a statement. It followed President Trump's statement, but they both seem to be in lockstep with the operation.
Hey, Calico, it looks like my man don't give a fuck.
Lockstep, as you describe it, for months now, planning this military operation. An operation of this kind clearly takes.
Now y'all know I'm going to go through that Candace Owens part 2. That shit is better than Netflix. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, Rico.
It was thought that was the case before the strikes took place in June last year. And in many senses, this is certainly for Israel, and from an Israeli perspective, this has strategic importance. Israel is definitely within range of Iran's ballistic missiles. The idea of Iran developing any kind of nuclear device, even though it says that's never been its intention, would clearly threaten Israel more than the United States. I think the difficulty for President Trump has been to try and portray...
Let's not get it twisted now, y'all. Let's not get it twisted. If y'all don't think that these people is going to be on Trump's ass today saying, who are you to be starting a war? You need Congress and all this other shit. You feel me? They're going to get on Trump's ass and say, okay, well, we know that they've been having this stuff over there. What happened today that made y'all go over there and bomb this shit up? You know what I'm saying? And whenever it comes down to Israel, I don't know, man. It always be some funky work. See, we understand. We're gonna stand no matter what. We're gonna win no matter what. And if you were American and you voting against America, you know what I'm saying? Then you was taught the wrong way. That's like being from New York and not being a New York Knicks fan. Knock it off.
1,000 long-range ballistic missiles. The short-range missiles are certainly capable of hitting US bases and other US allies in the Gulf. But this looks like something much, much bigger. I mean, Mossad, the Israeli spy agency, has also sent a message.
Let me get a poll going.
The Iranian people, as has President.
I know you don't need Congress, but that's what they're gonna say. You know what I'm saying?
Seem to be hoping that they can.
You feel me, DSK? I can hear these fucking crazy left, these lunatics down, man. I already know what they're gonna say.
Has been responsible for thousands and thousands of deaths, certainly back in January.
The boy said, "Fuck Donald Trump."
On the streets and called
Donald Trump.
We saw protests emerge again.
Hey, that's my boy Network Calico. That's my brother, man. He hates Trump. You know what I mean? This is like being in the family with a Crip in the blood. You know?
And that help is coming. And the Israelis, a harder sell from the Israelis for many.
DSL salute.
But they're also trying to make that same case, that it will firstly make the homeland safer for Israel.
And just for network, I'm going to play Candace Owens because she's hitting like cornbread.
That are going after.
Go eat that
Iran.
cornbread.
We were looking at images as you were talking from Tehran with billowing smoke in the air and people out in the streets. And again, you said President Trump as well as Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu urging.
Said nobody voted for this. You see the chat going off? That chat going. Yo, look at the chat.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fascinating to watch what happens. I mean, President Trump urged people to take shelter indoors for obvious reasons, because we know that these strikes are going to go on for a long time. These are incredibly
Terrence, go read the Bible.
deadly munitions that are being launched at Iran right now.
Double tap the screen, get the lights up. Candace Owens is too busy thinking everybody is a transsexual. They used her, and after they threw her token black ass in the trash, oh, she is the hottest thing on the internet right now. You're tripping. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on.
All power, all means of violence, in other words, all arms in the country are controlled by
Iranian
the opposition.
LGBT.
It doesn't have any kind of arms. It doesn't have any kind of weapons. I think people should.
I gotta show that. I'm sorry, y'all.
Will be any kind of split in.
Let's get the likes up. Double tap the screen. Get the likes up.
Security forces. That's the kind of thing I think that people have been looking for, where people realise that the game is up, the regime is going to fall, and now is the time.
They're gonna use Iranian people to do this work. The Iranian people don't want no Americans, and especially them fucking Israelis, over their country. You know what I'm saying? Bombing that shit. Now let me tell you something, right? Iran. The people of Iran are against the regime. You know what I'm saying? They're against that shit. So they need help. So trust me, this is just a poke at the bear.
Knowing that these were going to be widespread operations. We're going to go to Steve Ganyard now. Ian, stay with us, stay safe where you're at, and we'll come back to you if we can. Steve Ganyard joining us. Steve, we've been talking about all night about this military buildup, and Ian was talking about how there's
Isaiah 45 verse 7.
Now that the president has announced that this could be a long.
Who do you think created evil, Terrence? Shaking my damn head. God did.
And what that means, Michelle.
God created evil? Okay, always strange faces in the blast cloud.
If they think that they're going to at least set the stage for regime change, and that includes not just military targets, but we've seen some targeting of the besieged, which is sort of the paramilitary.
This ain't gonna be no motherfucking war. They're gonna pick on everybody else except for America. Trust me, they're doing it now. Watch.
Iranian citizens on the street.
Pay attention. They bombing Dubai. They throwing bombs all around everywhere else except for America. Trust me, man. Last June, Trump went over there and shut them the fuck down.
Threaten oil shipments through the Persian Gulf. So a very wide range, not just nuclear, but a wide range of targets that will be necessary if the U.S. does hope to change the regime and to allow the Iranian people to rise up and take control of their destiny.
You know, this is unprecedented, of course, in decades of the Iranian regime being in charge. Do you see anything, we've seen the buildup happen publicly. Do you think the timing of this signals that the U.S. and Israel and other allies in the region have information that's not necessarily?
What's going on? Israel and the U.S. bombed Iran overnight. This is going on right now.
Even out of Jerusalem are that the U.S. and the Israelis been playing.
Michael said genocide was going on. Had to do something. We had to step in.
Seen in the past Israeli intelligence.
But the thing is, Michael, is that we don't know why this is happening. He still didn't announce it yet. You know what I'm saying? This shit is happening as we speak. So we don't know exactly why. There's like 5 different reasons it could be happening.
The U.S. does not have, and the Israelis do. So what we're seeing in Tehran is probably these decapitation strikes hitting the leadership, where Parliament is, where Khomeini may have been staying. And so that's what we're seeing in terms of the plumes in Tehran. But some of the other targets that we see are much more focused on missile sites. Clearly, the Israelis are concerned about the
Okay, so tell me why this shit is happening, Grizz.
by Iran to shoot rockets back at Israel. We're seeing incoming interceptions.
Read the Bible? Yeah, I read the Bible, but I'm Muslim though.
So lots of things in place here. The Israelis are going to have to play both offense and defense, and the U.S. will be using both aircraft in the region and aircraft carriers at sea.
Steve, I want to bring Martha Raddatz.
This is going to have a hell of a response from the Islamic world. Trust me when I tell you.
Covering the Middle East. He's been to Tehran.
But what's going to slow it down is that the Iranian people are fed up. It's just like with Venezuela. Did you see them say anything about... Listen, we went to Venezuela and stole their fucking president. Do you understand me? I want y'all to pay attention. We went to Venezuela and stole their fucking president. Now, let me see somebody come up to America and try to steal a Donald Trump. You'd never go platinum.
By eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime. What that imminent threat was, we do not know, and whether they'll explain that to the American public. But the American public at this point...
Well, Iran doesn't need to be free. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not what their issue is. Not that right now. You know what I'm saying? That's not what their issue is. Okay.
Missile sites clearly.
I understand what you're saying.
Launched, but missiles are already being launched. But that was one of the objectives if they decided on this larger attack, to take out those missiles, to take out launch pads. Now, if they are in the area where Khomeini, the Ayatollah, lives, probably doubtful that he is there in Tehran, because the Iranians clearly knew if they were not reaching an agreement with the United States, that President Trump would take this kind of action. The Department of War, and now I can say it is clearly the Department of War at this point, are calling this Operation Epic Fury, and Yahoo is calling it Operation The Roar of the Lion. But this is huge because the president warned the American people, and let me read this again. I do not make this statement lightly, said the president. The Iranian regime seeks to kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war, he said, but we're doing this not for now, we're doing this for the future, and it is a noble mission. The president has been briefed again and again, and we're seeing those pictures of these huge smoke plumes in Tehran. I was on the ground in Tehran shortly after.
Bro, that's like New York being on fire.
Took out Soleimani, the leader of the IRGC. There were massive protests after that, and there were people.
Oh, that's deep. Pushing the prophecy. That's a fact, man. I think that they just, just one knucklehead could turn this whole world upside down right now. I'm telling you. They're going to get fucked up playing with America, but they could do it.
Definitely angry people, angry young people. And that was 2020. I was there when Iran retaliated and hit Al-Assad air base in Iraq. I think we had 100 traumatic brain injuries after that. That kind of leaked out after many weeks, after many months, because originally I think the president said there weren't really any injuries. But that is the kind of thing that the Iranians launched then.
That's in
They
Tehran.
did not launch any further attacks on the U.S. at that time in retaliation for the death of Soleimani. But I think one of the main reasons they did not was because they accidentally shot down a commercial airliner that night. Again, that was January 2020, so I think in the humiliation of that and the horror that they shot down, it was a Ukrainian aircraft commercial airliner. They did not further retaliate to the U.S. But this time, I think you will see them trying to do whatever they can. I've heard people say they do not think Iran will hold back this time as their attack. Whether the damage the U.S. and Israel are doing right now can contain some...
What if they was wrong? What if they do got some shit that could fly over here?
Weeks and months hardened our bases in the region. We've evacuated certain people.
274 American soldiers have been killed so far.
Out of those bases in hopes
salute to Australia, Darren.
Not be hit, not just to engage.
Everybody double tap the screen, get the likes up. You know what I'm saying? Wake somebody up. Share this video with them. That super chat works. Salute to everybody. My cash app is MacMean. MacMean.
You can talk about this a lot. You also have the threat of drones from Iran as well, and all of those ships, the carriers in the region are vulnerable.
ABC's Martha Raddatz. We're seeing those images again. They're very limited images, but they say a lot with the recent strikes that have been going on between the U.S. and Israel in a joint operation. President Trump moments ago speaking from his Florida estate in Mar-a-Lago. We want to take you there and let you listen to his words about the operation.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries. Among the regime's very first acts was to back a violent takeover of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, holding dozens of American hostages for 444 days. In 1983, Iran's proxies carried out the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut that killed 241 American military personnel.
You got that USA hat on.
In 2000, they knew
that shit's fire too.
Involved with the attack on the USS Cole. Many died. Iranian forces killed and maimed hundreds of American service members in Iraq. The regime's proxies have continued to launch countless attacks against America.
When the last time we lost a war? When the last time we won a war? When the last time we ever lost one?
U.S. naval and commercial vessels and international shipping lines.
Even when they say that we lost a war, it's funny how we upside down their fucking country.
Any longer. From Lebanon to Yemen.
That looks like a win to me. You know what I'm saying? Using the projects, if they came through and leveled your whole project, I would say you lost.
The earth with blood and guts. That it was Iran's proxy, Hamas, that launched the monstrous October 7th attacks on Israel, slaughtering more than 1,000 innocent people, including 46 Americans, while taking 12 of our citizens hostage. It was brutal. Something like the world has never seen before.
Iran cannot even launch their missiles right. Guidance system sucked. Could I hit the side of a skyscraper? They went over there and wiped out whatever they had last June.
It has always been the policy of the United States.
Yeah, they say we lost Vietnam. Yeah, you know what I mean? Love me long time. Love me long time. You see how many mixed babies came? Man, we lost. We won that war. We won.
That is why
Frank Lucas and
Night Hammer last June, we obliterated the regime's nuclear program at Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan.
They lost. We went over there and fucked Vietnam up, right? the Americans that lived came home, back to America.
To make a deal, we tried. They wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. Again, they wanted.
See what we did to them over at Pearl Harbor.
Happening. They just wanted to practice evil. But Iran refused, just as it has for decades and decades. They rejected every opportunity to...
Alvin said, we fought people on horseback in the last war. And still didn't win. He said he was dead. Double tap the screen to get the likes up. You go to the top right, hit the 3 dots. Hey, Sonny, fuck you.
That can now threaten our very good friends and allies in Europe, our troops stationed overseas, and could soon reach the American homeland.
The fuck Trump do to you? Gas is low. You got all the eggs you want. You know what I mean? They ain't stop y'all food stamps. And they still letting y'all get Section 8. I'll say that's a win.
It means to deliver their message. For these reasons, the United...
2660, I feel you. America lost in Vietnam, bruh. Yeah, I hear you. You know what I'm saying? I had 2 uncles that was in Vietnam. I heard all the stories that you about to tell me in this fucking chat. As if it's Sunday. It's only Saturday, okay? Like, you know what I mean? Don't confess your sins here.
Missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated. We're going to annihilate their Navy. We're going to ensure that the region's terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region or the world and attack our forces and no longer use their IED.
We lost 6,000 men in Vietnam. You know what I'm saying? We lost 66,000 men in Vietnam, and almost 1 million were injured. That's a fact, and they ain't do them right.
Including many Americans. And we will ensure that Iran does not obtain a nuclear weapon. It's a very simple message. They will never have a nuclear weapon. This regime will soon learn that no one...
Americans was never pussy.
The strength and might of the United States Armed Forces.
I mean, like it's Sunday. Like you come in here to, you know, to get some spiritual advice. You know what I mean? This is not church. You know, I know they have church on Saturday too, but the ones I really know is Sunday. All right? I'm just here for the entertainment. Double tap the screen.
Has taken every possible step to minimize the risk to U.S. personnel in the region.
Afghan was
Even so, and I do not make this statement lightly, the Iranian regime seeks to kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we
don't become president being an idiot. Trust me when I tell you.
That often happens in war, but we're doing this.
Hey Wayne, that's cold-blooded.
The future, and it is a noble mission. We pray for every service member as they selflessly risk their lives to ensure that Americans and our children will never be threatened by a nuclear-armed Iran. We ask God to protect all of our heroes in harm's way, and we trust that with his help, the men and women of the armed forces will prevail. We have the greatest in the world, and they will.
But Jay Rico, if you still here, half of our you know, like our military, you know what I'm saying, forces out there. I don't know. Half of our fleet is out there. I don't know about that. I don't know about that one. Maybe that's what they just said. Maybe that, I don't know. It wouldn't be good to tell them everything.
Arms. You will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death. Finally, to the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand.
Watch this, y'all.
Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere.
Wow.
When we are finished, take over your government. It
Wow.
will be yours to take.
Wow.
This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help,
Wow.
but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future.
Hey, yo, can somebody type my Cash App, put Cash App, $ MacMean so I can pin it?
Do not let it pass. May God bless the brave men and women of America's armed.
That's a fact, Michael.
May God bless the United States of America. May God bless you all.
And you've been listening to President Trump from his Florida Mar-a-Lago estate giving
Oh, wait, I got a lot this morning to share with y'all. It's going to get nasty. Because Candace, I don't understand, man. You know what I mean?
Hours ago, it is quickly developing in that area. We've got Israel under a state of emergency. And we want to take you to Washington, D.C. Along with Americans, many of the lawmakers are also learning about this. We want to go to ABC's Selena Wang with some reaction.
Anybody with rich put $ MacMean, Cash App or some shit like that. MacMean.
Repeatedly threatened military action against Iran. The American people have been waiting for a clear justification for what exactly the president's endgame would be. You just heard the president there lay out multiple justifications for this major combat operation. It's not just Iran's efforts to rebuild its nuclear program. It goes beyond its...
Yeah, man. Unfortunately, there will be a lot because they bombed the biggest city out there. They bombed, I think it's the biggest city. You know what I'm saying? Man, yeah, that's the bad part, man. I can see the pictures of the babies and all that because they scrambling right now. They scrambling and scraping, no diddy.
That often happens in war. Now, you mentioned the congressional reaction. Well, the Congress...
Let's take a look at their chat.
Congress alone the power to formally declare war. That is something that even some Republicans on Capitol Hill have tried to remind the president this week. We are starting to get some reaction from Capitol Hill. We have heard, for instance, from Senator Ruben Gallego, a Democrat, who says that he lost friends to Iraq in an illegal war.
Look at this shit. They're not playing over there.
He says that young working class
kids should
not pay the ultimate price for regime change and a war that hasn't been explained or justified to the American people. We can support the democracy movement and the Iranian people without sending our troops to die. We're also getting reactions from Democrat from Florida, Representative Jared Moskowitz. He says he is formally requesting the State Department to fully brief Congress on a rapidly evolving situation in Iran, emphasizing this is a serious moment that demands full transparency and congressional oversight. Now, there were efforts this week to try and force a vote on the House floor for an Iran War Powers resolution next week. That legislation would require the president to come to Congress to make the case for using military force against Iran. So this is certainly not over for Congress. They will make attempts to get explanations and certainly not happy that they were not notified about this.
ABC's Selena Wang in Washington, D.C. with reaction. And we're also learning more about the region. In Qatar, Americans have been told to shelter in place, that there was an incoming missile coming there. Iran has gone on record with its state media saying that it has begun.
You get too passionate, or if you get on that crazy liberal bullshit, you know, that Democrat dumb shit, I'm gonna fucking, you know, like basically like block you from the channel. No cap.
Hi, Michelle. Good morning. Yes, American law enforcement have been preparing for this for weeks. Obviously, we've all been watching the ramp up in the Middle East. We've heard the rhetoric. So as there's no actual threat right now against domestic facilities, but law enforcement, especially in population centers in New York and LA, where there are large Jewish communities, large Iranian communities, Israeli communities, they have been preparing, and we should expect to start seeing a visible uniform presence. That could be anything as little or as minimal.
Well, Jews in Brooklyn said they don't fuck with Israel. You know, I've showed y'all a bunch of that shit this week.
During Shabbat morning services today, or something even, greater security precautions taken at schools with large student bodies of Iranian Americans or Iranian expatriates. And that is a normal kind of a thing. But there is always the concern that there could be, either random acts or impulsive acts of violence that stem from the news and the hostilities overseas.
Josh, we've heard from intelligence over the months and the years, especially since the Gaza situation with the war between Israel and Hamas, that there was always concern about heightened security and what was needed here, and those lone the people who might act solely alone or organized in areas around the world, including here in the U.S.
What's up, bitches?
Absolutely, and in fact, the lone offender, the lone wolf phenomenon is the single greatest concern for American domestic law enforcement right now. In the years since 9/11, American law enforcement has been at various points at the highest levels of alert and not even really come.
Carter, 79, go for that's a fact, man. You know what I'm saying? Ayatollah Khomeini days, bless my Muslim brothers that's out there that's doing the right thing. I don't think a whole country should pay for something that the government is doing, but, Trump said after I finish bombing this shit, the people gonna take over anyway. When the government is corrupt, fuck them.
who are just joining us, getting caught up here, we're looking at
Oppression is worse than slaughter. That's what they say in Islam. And also, suicide is forbidden in Islam. If the dude called himself Muslim and he's willing to kill himself and bomb himself, he's not Muslim.
that they are going to respond and are responding, and alerts are also across Israel and also the region. We just also learned in Qatar that they had evidence of an incoming missile.
Yeah, both Qatar, and there seem to be plumes of smoke over Manama in Bahrain, just on the western side of the Persian Gulf as well. So this was anticipated, Michelle. Everyone knew that if Iran was attacked, that they would do retaliatory strikes, revenge strikes, and they know that most of those Gulf states were supportive of the U.S. in the past. While the U.S. didn't launch from those countries,
that's a fact.
This is just sort of a
They're going to support Trump until the wheels fall off, man. It is what it is. It is what it is. Those other countries better fucking beware. Like Venezuela, like I told you, man. Imagine somebody came over here and just snatched our president of and shit, threw him in his jail. They treating Maduro. We forgot about him. We don't even know where he's at or his wife. Double tap screen. Let's get the likes up. Other countries are watching what the U.S. is doing. This ain't going to be the end. Well, they already responded. Listen.
Day in downtown Tehran.
They already start bombing shit. You know what I'm saying? As a response. Let's get the likes up, please. Double tap the screen or go to the top right. Hit the 3 dots. You know what I'm saying? If you watch it from your TV, find that like button and hit it for me. You know what I'm saying?
And now that the element of surprise is over, the U.S. and the Israelis will focus on knocking down those missile sites that are going to be used in retaliation.
ABC Steve Gaynor, thank you. We want to actually go back to Martha Raddatz too, who again has been in the region. What do you think the mood is throughout the region? Talking with your military sources as well for Americans overseas.
There is great uncertainty and there is great fear about what happens next in terms of retaliation. First of all, there are 92 million people who live in Iran who President Trump has basically said he wants to rise up and go after the regime. Those people have to be living in fear too, with bombs raining down. And what's next? Certainly the sentiment I have seen on the streets, and we have all watched those protests, they want that regime gone. They want it gone, but that is a very, very difficult thing to do. President Trump has had great success with his military operations. Venezuela, it went exactly the way he wanted it to go. He grabbed the president, but this is not Venezuela. This is far more complicated and far more deadly, possibility of being deadly for Americans in the region. Iran can't reach the U.S. right now with any sort of missile, but they can reach our bases in the region. We have fortified those bases as much as possible, but there is still a great risk at this time. We heard the president go through that list of the horrors that Iran has rained down on U.S. forces, that they took hostages in 1979. But during my trips there over the last decade or so, there had been a warming of relationships. In July of 2015, we signed that nuclear agreement along with Britain, France, Russia, China, Germany to restrict Iran's nuclear program in return for sanctions relief. When Donald Trump was elected president, he withdrew from that agreement. And that's where we are today. We don't have an agreement. He wanted an agreement. He wanted them to stop everything, said they would not do that. I know that publicly Iran had said.
Hey, do you think if Kamala was president, we'd be here right now? Hell no. We'd be fucked up, you know what I mean? Like at gay parades, shaking our butts with the cheeks cut out of the pants. You know what I'm saying? That's what we would have been doing. And the kids, Brian would have been in Belinda's bathroom, chilling.
Massive strike. He said he wants to annihilate Iran's Navy. He wants to raise all of the missile sites. This is a very, very tall order show.
Okay, let's get to the Candace.
Let's
get to the Candace Owens shit real quick. Candace Owens. Walker, just talk. Candace Owens. Goofy. Now, this is part 2 of The Bride of Charlie. Yo, this shit is hitting like the soap operas. This shit is crazy. I'm gonna just go straight through it, man. I'm gonna just let her do her thing today, man.
This President's Day, experience the ultimate in leather luxury at Morris.
Yeah, she is wildin', man. Candace is bugging, man.
Many LLCs, too many households, always lurking behind her daughter, shady divorce docs, curated content. Even the lawyer on those shady divorce
She's going in on Lori today.
docs, Rebecca Kay, may she rest in peace. But even she was involved with horse racing. Is everybody somehow maybe connected to gambling?
Leonard.
All I know is that with mom, the vibes are not vibing for me, okay? You know, lottery tickets flying in the air with her grandma, grandparents. Well, on Monday's episode,
Grizz is everybody. For the last couple of days, the chats have not, it's crazy. It's crazy.
only 2 out of about 6 or so documents that were available. And we determined that something wasn't right. 4 different dates to the alleged wedding between Lori and Kent, an unnotarized child care agreement, plus
a lot of people saying Candace is going crazy, but she just, no, she's not.
Listed.
Let me tell you something. You know what they saying? They need to replace the FBI with her. Whoever is on her team that's giving her the intel, that's what they need to replace the FBI with, okay? Let's
across 4 sets of documents, but we caution people at home that, hey, there's other docs. Therefore, it's plausible that those remaining documents made some necessary changes. Caution, I said, caution. But you guys don't listen. What if you guys went ahead and tore the caution tape down, sent to me all the remaining documents? And those were interesting. I'll have you know that Erica's birthday on all of them is November 22nd. Yeah, it is. Her name's spelled differently a few times too. Erica with the C. We'll go over that next week. That's what I want to talk about. Is a person that was in these documents. There was another person mentioned, someone who was listed as the witness to these shenanigans. That's how I am going to hitherto refer to the divorce documents, the shenanigans. And that witness, his name is Richard Erpenbeck. I'll show you that here. Now, what I am blurring out on this document is it had his address, which allowed me to definitively confirm which Rick Erpenbeck.
Wait a minute. Court of Common Pleas, Division of Domestic Relations. Let me see. Let me put this down for a second. Come in, Penelope, 1998. If witness is under 18, boom, boom, boom. Oh yeah, Candace is not bullshitting. I told you that as soon they're gonna try to knock my girl, take my girl up off the earth. I'm telling you.
We were speaking about. Who is the one that actually was the witness? Erpenbeck, by the way, anybody that's gone through following any of the people on X that have been deep diving alongside me, you will know that Erpenbeck is not an unusual name when it comes to Lori's businesses. This is actually the family that she uses many times to either notarize or to flat out incorporate her very many LLCs, regarding which, I just want to say this, I'm never able to figure out what the heck the purposes of these LLCs are. What do these businesses actually do? Lori has LLCs coming out of her ears, okay? Look, Lori's got a lot going on. And I want to say something else, her professional backstory in and of itself, it's odd. It's kind of like Erica odd, to be honest, right? Lori Ann was a model. By her second marriage, we discover that she's working as a secretary. She then must have fallen and bumped her head and became a technological genius. There was no evidence of it, but then suddenly, whoop, she's arrived and she is just putting together tech companies, as many people do. I am waiting for that late stage technological brilliance to fall upon me because I can barely sort through my apps. I don't even know how to get to the App Store in a fast enough time. Let me take you through the litany of LLCs that she has filed, this is Lori, which feature Richard or Donna Erpenbeck as either the secretary, the incorporator, the notary, across a 25-year period. Okay? Now, Lori filed for Eurotech in June of 1993. What does it do? Nobody knows, but Rick was featured. Lori and Rick filed for Eurotech International UK. Nobody knows.
Wow.
That was 1995. She filed for Tech Metrics International.
Bitch is balling.
And in the available 1998 docs pertaining to it, Richard Erpenbeck is again listed as the secretary.
YouTube dropped you for the YouTube is dropping you. I don't know what the hell's going on. Is anybody else getting dropped? Type ones in the chat if you're getting dropped. I can't even type in my own chat right now. YouTube is fucked up. They've been sending us messages for the last couple of days saying that live streams is messed up. Is any okay? Grizz, getting timed out. I mean, not timed out, but dropped. Is anybody else getting dropped out of YouTube? Type ones. Nah, I believe you. I'm trying to tell you. A lot of people's been getting. Some people can't type but one sentence. Once you type one sentence, everything you type comes out as the same as the first sentence.
Her, Rick, Donna, you can go through these docs yourself. Their names are on there. Now look, I've been around, I've seen some stuff. I can tell you my instinct when I see a ton of LLCs and I don't know what the heck they're doing, especially when they're identifying themselves as tech, as a technology. That should be easily identifiable. Okay, you're a tech genius. In my mind, and I'm not saying this is the circumstance, but my unprofessional opinion, my mind goes to money laundering, right? Gotta get rid of money, people gotta start creating LLCs. Now you're thinking,
That's it.
you're very sensible. Hey, maybe that's not the case. There's no evidence for that. Good. Even thought of that. It's just thinking about that would make us a deep.
Yeah, anytime I speak about, if I ever speak about, like the J words, you know what I'm saying? Then my chat automatically, anything that when I show Candace, I automatically, you know what I'm saying? Get that. It took me 3 tries to get the last response. Yup. Real talk, it just happened again. Yeah, yeah. And I never have this many people in my lives. By now, there would have been 300-400 people up in here. You know what I'm saying? So there's definitely something wrong. And it's YouTube. YouTube has been sending us stuff, you know what I'm saying, telling us that they're going to fix it, but it is what it is.
The exact year about Lori.
If you still here, salute, man.
Head out to Notre Dame Prep. More on that later. I'll have a time.
They kicked me out of my own live. A live that I started earlier, I was live for 3 minutes and they just cut the live off and kicked me off.
Owned and operated by generations of the Erpenbeck family. The family had 4 brothers: Bill Erpenbeck, our boy Rick Erpenbeck, Gary Erpenbeck, married to Donna Erpenbeck, who we just saw.
Subscribe to the channel. I'll be live on again, you know what I'm saying, probably tonight. Because I'm gonna go do a whole live about this thing. I'm just getting some right now I'm kind of just playing it so I could figure out what's going on. Hopefully by the night they have YouTube fixed up and we'll be back to normal. You know what I'm saying? Salute, Grizz.
Offering pathways for them to cut down financial fees pertaining to their new home ownership. You know, pay us directly, we'll handle the rest, kind of a deal. Young people.
So I'm gonna just play it straight through so I can understand it for tonight's show when we got the crowd.
And their mortgages, it turned out, were not being paid either. Take a listen to this news clip.
Erpenbeck served 21 years after pleading guilty to defrauding banks.
Now they did the same thing to me. I went live and they completely kicked me off the app, stopped my live and all that, took me off of YouTube period and took me back to my home screen and shit. Like, what the fuck?
So his crimes left hundreds of home buyers on the hook for millions of dollars in unpaid mortgages.
Me neither. That's why I try to tell you. And I go live often. Go to my channel and look at my lives. You know what I'm saying? I haven't had a live with just 40 people in it in years. You know what I'm saying? But so there's definitely something wrong. But they sent us all emails saying that there's a glitch with the chat and all this. But it's the whole entire YouTube.
I am talking.
My dad served in the military. Thanks for his service. He served in the Marines. My son is a Marine. USA. He was in Iraq and a lot more things. But my dad never made it home. Rest easy, soldier. 100% go to war with Russia or China. That's what's up, man. Let me pin that, man. Put that other pin. You know what I'm saying? We get back to that. You know. That's. What's up, Henny? Hey, Henny, let me ask you something. Type and tell me if you're having problems, because that problem we was having the other day, they hit us on YouTube and said that the chats is messed up, and you know what I mean? Like,
Capture information. This is the sister.
They did it with Lansky and DBN hit me the other day, like, yo, this shit is fucked up. Like I can't type, you know what I mean? Or it only allows me to type the same thing, or it's kicking me off.
Then she let Bill assume responsibility. The FBI soon arrested both men. Oh, okay. Sister wore a wire.
My whole family served, you know what I mean? I even worked in the military. I was down there at in Brownwood and Brady. Brady's where they, you know, where the Black Hawks and all that shit's at. I used to jump on the Apaches and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Brownwood and Brady feeding the soldiers. I also worked at an MRE packaging facility.
He also targeted an FBI agent's children.
Thanks a lot, Michael.
A would-be hitman.
All right, let me get to this. I'm gonna ignore y'all for a little while so I can pay attention.
And an air pipe for 10 days. He recruited a fellow inmate about to be released from prison to commit the crimes, but the inmate flipped on Erpenbeck and wore a wire for the FBI. The recording caught Tony
fucking rat
to pay fake hitmen $500,000 in gold stock first. Then Erpenbeck planned to pay the man and the other.
Hold up, this some real hot boy shit. He wanted the then senior, excuse me, U.S. Judge S. Arthur Spiegel and the then retired U.S. Attorney Kathleen Brinkman killed. Tony also targeted an FBI agent's children. He told a would-be hitman to bury the agent's 3 kids in a casket with crackers, water, and an air pipe for 10 days. Wow. Crackers, water, and a fucking air pipe. That is a sorry son of a bitch, man. Tony Epperbrecht has been in federal medical prison in Lexington for a few months when he tried to hire someone to kidnap and murder the people connected with putting him and his sons behind bars. He recruited a fellow inmate about to be released from prison to commit the crimes, but the inmate flipped on Epperbrecht and wore a wire for the FBI. The recording caught him offering to pay the fake hitman $500,000 in gold stock first. Then Epperbrecht planned to pay the man another $500,000, you know what I'm saying, from offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands after news of the kidnappings hit the newspaper. That's some savage shit, man. He worse than Epstein.
And another $500,000 from offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands after news of the kidnappings hit the newspapers.
Feed your crew with a family meal for a face.
That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. They're gonna make me watch 50 minutes of this shit, y'all. 50 goddamn minutes of this. I mean, 50 cotton picking minutes of this. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, man. Good morning to everybody that's here, man. My boy Jay Rico's in the building, y'all. West Coast. West Coast. West Side. Thank you for your service. Long live the brotherhood. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? I told y'all my son's a Marine. Hoorah! He's on bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I heard these motherfuckers say the other day, right? On while we was doing a live, some black dude jumped up and shit. He was like, yeah, man, niggas going, you know what I'm saying? If the military come over here, man, y'all gonna have something else coming. Y'all don't know what we got. We got switches up in here. We got this, we got that. Yo, my son and 2 of his good friends will decimate a fucking projects. Decimate. Do you know what type of shit they playing with, man? They war games is uncanny. Those dudes, my son, all he like doing is killing, man. That's what he told me. Like, my son just want to be a killer. Yo, ever since my son was young, right? Before he went to the military, before he became a Marine, you gotta understand. My uncle, I have an uncle. I'm not gonna say his name, but let's call him Born. My uncle Born, he went to Iraq and he tore shit up. Okay, Senator John McCain, his son and me was real tight, man, and his daughter. 23 confirmed kills. He's a sniper. All he want to do is, bow, put something down. Yeah, man. You know what I mean? That's how my son is. You feel me? He wants to fucking kill. Most of them do. Now, imagine you get my son and one of his homeboy. Like, matter of fact, You go get six Marines and put them in Webster projects. Yo, them niggas would take Webster. The buildings are already falling by themselves in the Bronx. My son will fuck. Listen, 6 of them, I'm telling you. 1 for each building. 1 for each building. Okay? 1 for each building. If there's 12 buildings, we'll get to the other building after. But trust me, you're gonna know that after the first 6 buildings, what did they do in the second Twin Tower when the first one fell? When the first one fell, the ones that seen that shit and the second one, when the first one got hit, they was up out of there. Whoever seen it, there's some sorry son of a bitch that was on the other side of the building that was like, no, stay at your desk. That's just, that's just construction. God bless him. But yeah, my son will fuck the projects up, man. My son, man, yeah, don't defund the police. Don't do none of that unsafe shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm for the police. Trust me when I tell you. I ain't for all that ratting and snitching, but I'm definitely for the police, bro. Hey, listen, what my family did when I was doing 12 years? Hey, you feel me? Y'all think about yourself. You think about the reward. You never think about the risk. What about your fucking innocent-ass family? Huh? What about them? Goofy.
Okay, here's another piece of just this case. This case is amazing.
I'm gonna keep it real, man. Gangsters
a
don't.
$250,000 on the green. Bill Erpenbeck lost.
Gangsters don't think like these dudes that y'all hear out here, man. Just like jail doesn't look like whatever the fuck y'all think these TV shows is. If you think you're gonna go to jail and fight NBC, you're not. Okay? All right? Ex-criminals like myself, gangsters like me, will tell you, get the police, man. Be safe. Keep it safe.
Thousands of dollars when he ratted out his own friend in 2009. Oh man, this one goes on and.
Yeah, I hope nothing happened either. You know what I'm saying? Aiden Morales. I hope nothing happens too. But by the looks of it, my son wants something to happen. I'm trying to tell you, when my son was young, like when I was trying to help him with training wheels, he used to push me off of him, like, get the fuck off of me. I know how to do this. My son is a risk taker, bro. That bro would jump in the river. We out here fishing and shit. He jumps in the river to fucking wrestle with the fish. You know what I mean? He's that type of dude. You know, I gave him some fucking money one time. Gave him like $300. Said, go buy some AirPods, right? You know what he came back with? A fucking kayak. He's different. A kayak and a knife. Yeah, Marines hit different. I don't know, man. I wouldn't be playing with no Marines, man. Hoorah.
He asked his friend to put $250,000 to dig it up, dig a hole and put the money in there so he had a little cash when he got out. Okay. Another personal favorite portion of mine from the news of that day is the notary testifying that Rick's brother Bill would sometimes ask her to notarize documents while the person involved was not even present, right? She said Bill Erpenbeck sometimes asked her to notarize documents when the people who supposedly had signed them were not in her presence. Oh, yeah, that's illegal. And it is exactly what I pointed out to you guys, having not known this whole story and background, not knowing that this Rick was going to come up in the documents that I couldn't access at the time. I said, something's not right here. I'm a notary up in New York. That jumps out at me.
Everyone always forgets about the third building that went down. That was never hit by a plane. It was a false flag event. Yeah. I think the buildings, I'm not going to say what I think. But I definitely don't think that just the planes itself took them down. I mean, y'all, I'm an aircraft fueler. I've been one for years. You know what I mean? So I know a little bit better.
Seems odd that anybody would sign away their rights to a court case, legal representation, without a notary being present. That just did not seem to me to be a clerical error. Anyway.
Can I tell y'all a secret that you might not know? And me being a fueler, I could tell you this. Jet A fuel, the shit that was on that 737, Jet A fuel, right? Jet A fuel doesn't burn easy. I mean, before you become a fueler, you have to go to a whole fucking fuel certification. You have to know the difference between all fucking fuels. And I'm gonna tell you something, jet fuel is one of the hardest things to burn. It takes combustion. It takes a mist, a light spray. It's not that. It's not like gasoline. It's not that volatile. I mean, I fucking smoke cigarettes around this shit.
Documents in the courts absent notarization. It's not how court cases work. It is, to me, it looks to me
U.S.
like
is not attacking
someone was looking the
Israel.
other way. Like
The
somebody.
U.S. is not attacking Israel. Oh, okay. All right, Empress. Is that Empress?
They maybe knew the county clerk and was up to no good. Now, like they told you, like these newspapers are telling you, when things were going down, Lori Ann, the sister, wanted to cooperate with the police. That was no, you never go against the family. So they started threatening her. Then she goes into hiding until she gets a phone call from her dad, Tony. And her dad tells her, "It's the last time you might see me." She thinks he's going to commit suicide. So she runs down to the house, comes out of hiding, only to realize her brothers, Bill, Gary, Rick, they're there telling her, hey.
Hey, Henny. Yeah, that's just my, Zadie know what it is. You know what I mean? That's Empress. You know what I'm saying? She know what I do.
Okay, brothers are there. Lori doesn't care, like you read. We went through already. She wears wire for the feds.
I mean, I can see a picture. You know what I'm saying? Like Zadie picture right there. I know what she look like. But that's Empress. She said she don't want that Zadie shit no more.
Meets up with dad again. Yada yada. Yada. She's terrified Bill is going to kill her.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think Zadie, I think she found all of y'all through me. I think that she was with us first.
Courting is played in court. They get him. They get Tony. Bill pleads guilty. He picks up additional charges for threatening to kill his sister. He's ultimately sentenced to 30 years in prison. He ends up serving 21 years after a judge later shortens his sentence. His dad, Tony, who had just been sentenced to 5 years and 10 months for bank fraud, with a concurrent sentence for 60 months for obstruction of justice. Well, he later then received another 20 years because, he tried to hire the hitman to kill the U.S. district judge and the U.S. attorney and the FBI agent's children. Okay. That's the Erpenbeck family. Lori Ann, the sister, does a year, 1 count of bank fraud. Brothers Gary and Jeff get off scot-free. Rick Erpenbeck, the youngest of the clan, Lori's Erpenbeck, agrees to let go of his Kentucky legal license. But he otherwise avoids any charges because his name was not on the business. But he did have to testify. And throughout his testimony, we learn that one of the big mysteries of this case was why his father, Tony, had transferred so much money to LLCs that were under Rick's control. We can read this together. Here we go. In his deposition Thursday, Rick Erpenbeck testified, "You'd have to ask my dad. Actually, what was in his head? I saw it as a good investment. He had already always, helped the other boys out from the beginning. I was the one who worked 2 jobs, 3 jobs through college, 2 jobs through law school while he was helping out, the other boys, the Erpenbeck company. And he wanted to give me the opportunity to purchase these assets." That's, they say right there, the biggest question to be answered is why Tony Erpenbeck agreed to shift so much money into Rick Erpenbeck's control.
She got to piece it together.
Mystery. Rick made out real nice because he wasn't involved with the business. Just a hardworking kid. Family's just up to it. But you want to know what never happened? Who didn't make out nice? The homeowners. They never got their money back. Where did it go? Some of us, some of it, of course, went to Bill's lavish lifestyle. But where did the rest of the money get siphoned off to? It's just one big Scooby-Doo mystery. Anyway, the story goes in 2024, Bill Erpenbeck does get released from prison. Apparently, it shows us he attempted to stow away some cash. This is like a never-ending scandal. Take a listen.
The Erpenbeck name was back in the news in 2009 when FBI agents dug up a cooler full of cash from Summit Hills Country Club in Crestview Hills. A friend had buried money that he received from Erpenbeck on the course next to Erpenbeck's former home. Erpenbeck had hoped to use that money after he got out of prison.
Now, why is this relevant? Why is this story relevant? Because it just seems to be the case that fraud surrounds Lori Fronspe, Walstead, whatever her name is. Fraud just seems to surround her. From her parents to her grandparents to the person that's doing her documents. It's just always around her. To her very many businesses, and nobody knows what they do. She just can't seem to get away with it. And do you know what's crazy? To me, that despite her obviously being very much aware of who the Erpenbecks were, a case which included attempts of coordinated murder and kidnapping of children, putting them into boxes, Lori didn't seem scared. No, she didn't go, hey, maybe I just don't want to. I know it sounds like you really were just at school and you don't know why you got all this money, but I'm good. Yeah, I think if my lawyer called me, if I looked into Noah and Noah's family's in prison for murdering and putting people in boxes or threatening to put people in boxes, and it's a trial of the century, I'd say, you know what? I can probably figure out how to incorporate my LLC by myself. It's really easy now. Everything's so easy these days. Like, I'm good, Noah, thank you. Not Lori. No, not for Lori. She brings this guy in. It just so happens to be, I know it's so coincidental, these are clerical errors. It just so happens to be that she's got some docs that look a little shady. And I looked through those documents, and no, it was not corrected. And no, Erica's birthday never does, even across different documents, seem to go back to the 20th. So Lori did not at all, I guess, have the impetus to think that maybe working with this family in any capacity was immoral, demonic. What are some of the adjectives that they keep describing me as? Yeah, all of those. No, she was good. It's interesting that Lori sends Erica to Tesseract in Arizona, and the school then suddenly has to shutter its doors because it, once again, another financial scandal. Money evaporates, nobody knows where it went. People think that it may have been a scam. That just keeps happening. It must be just so scary for Erica to see this so much in her life. I'm scared for Erica. That's why I'm doing this series. I'm scared for her. She's a grieving widow. Later on, Lori's going to start working with the Farnsworths, camera guy, taking down the camera. And then she's going to strike up this partnership with Tyler Boyer, this very shady COO of Turning Point Action, who is going to introduce Erica to Charlie Kirk. And in the background, Lori and Tyler are going to do business together. Now, remember when people wondered why it was that Lori was a board member of Superfeed Technologies. And I'm in front of Erica, and I told you guys that the answer that Erica gave me was because they just needed a familiar name. Yeah, I was born yesterday. Let's go with that. I was born on Thursday, yesterday. And Tyler and Lori, by the way, Superfeed, already objectively involved in scandal. You could look this up yourself. Claims of bribery. I think I had it, the headline at Yahoo News. Kari Lake's bribery scandal involves a shady GOP tech firm. Yeah, they're referring to Superfeed Technologies. Had its business revoked by the state of Arizona while it employed Jeff DeWitt, its former COO, and Lake, who had received more than $100,000 from the entity in the personal financial disclosure that she filed last month. How weird. How weird. I just want to be clear. Lori's a victim. Everywhere she goes, this just happens. Money goes missing everywhere she goes, even when her daughter's just going to school. Okay. And Tyler Boyer, probably the same. I know that he recently required a literal federal pardon from the President of the United States for fraud. He was credibly accused of 9 felonies related to trying to subvert the election, including fraud, forgery, and conspiracy. He's still facing state charges. But that's just everybody just doesn't understand how much Turning Point is going through right now. And they're really sad. They're really sad. They're grieving differently. Yeah. Now, I also broke the news to you. I said at the top that Tyler Boyer is telling people that they are now going to get into the real estate business to help young homeowners because it was Charlie's vision, right? He's telling people that Charlie the ghost, who they can manipulate to do whatever they want, he always told students not to go to college and to instead get married young. And therefore, the next logical step would be for Turning Point to go into homeownership, to help them become homeowners. Trust the science. If you think that's weird, that's because you're demonic. Erica's grieving widow. Lori, in case you missed it, is the one person that Erica now posts for sympathy. She's curating Lori, right? To let you know that Lori is sick. That to me felt like a person I should probably be looking into, right? How dare you have any questions about anything right now? Do you know where Erica's going? She just lost her husband and her mom's sick. I think these people are sick in the head. There is something very wrong with Lori. There is something very wrong with Erica. And there is something very wrong with this picture of Lori, Tyler, and Erica Kirk being together. There just is. It's my opinion, it's my show. They really think we are this stupid. Anyway, we'll be right back after a quick break. All right, you guys, thanks to you, last year, Preborn helped rescue over 80,000 babies, and today you can help save even more. Every single day, thousands of women hear the same devastating lie that abortion is their only option, that they're alone.
If you're scared, get a fucking dog. America first. You know what I'm saying? Salute to the real Muslims out there, not the ones bombing themselves and calling themselves, you know, I'm going to heaven. You're not going to heaven. You're going to hell. Okay? God doesn't bless people that commit that word. The S word.
It's life that needs to be fought for.
All right. Now, if you're on the Trump train, I want y'all to type ones in the chat. Salute to everybody that's here. It looks like YouTube is opening up a little bit. All right, let's get to it, you know?
5 chances for life. This year, let's make it the biggest day.
David said, I believe Erica is full of,
Can't speak for themselves. To donate, dial #250 and say the keyword babe.
Do you like Candace Owens? 61% of the people so far say yes. If you don't like her, and you don't want these people that like her to win, I suggest you get your vote on.
It's what I use, it's what I trust, and it's what my routine is built around. If you're still dealing with dry skin, irritation, or more visible lines right now, it's probably not because you haven't tried hard enough.
Yeah, you see the mental illness in the chat sometimes, man. Go ahead and just log the fuck off the earth, you know?
The better it holds up over time. Mimi keeps everything simple.
Mexican Muslim? Yeah, I love the Mexican Muslims. They the best. I'm gonna keep it real because during Ramadan, after we done, that's who cooks all of our food. And they cook it like Mexicans cook fried chicken better than black people.
For 10% off your order. That's
definitely make pizza better than Italians. I'll debate you.
10% off your order. Also want to tell you guys about Beekeepers Natural.
Okay, type ones if Mexicans make better fried chicken than black people. They must. Because the #1 soul food spot in New York, which is Sylvia's, has all Mexicans making that fucking chicken back there. You think an old black woman named Mabel had a foot in the shit. No, it's Mexicans. Okay?
Propolis is this natural immune supporting substance that bees make to protect their hives. It's like nature's own shield.
Support the Mexicans. Y'all haven't watched Candace long enough to know she's an ego, money-driven, anti-Semitic.
I use Propolis throat spray, especially during the holidays, because it's clean, natural, and free from all the junk that you can't pronounce. No dyes, no chemicals, and no fake sugars. Beekeepers Naturals recently launched a kid-friendly version of their nasal spray, and the mist is super soft and gentle, so kids will actually use it. And today, Beekeepers Naturals is giving my listeners an exclusive offer. Go to beekeepersnaturals.com/Candace.
You have a problem with all these podcasters that are trying to sell a product. I get it; they need sponsorship, but they will sell. No, this is what you do. This is how you make money. She's not signed to anybody. I mean, she's doing her thing. If she was a regular person or if it was you, nobody would say anything.
Move, grow, and build.
You feel where I'm coming from? You gotta live and let live sometimes, you know? Just gotta live and let live. Even if you don't like the person, don't start nitpicking at everything they do. Like, yeah, look at that shoe that she has on. You know, it is what it is, but I get what you're saying. But that's what she has to do. She has to, promote her thing. Mexicans make great pizza. Well, salute, Ryder. Yeah, Henny, Mexican, they should. They have the same color in their flag as Italians. I mean, for real, man. Come on, man.
So who is Erica Kirk? My answer is Lori's child. I think Lori comes first. Lori has always come first, and Lori is exceedingly problematic, okay? I understand
salute.
I understand someday George Soros is going to be sick. Okay, doesn't mean that we don't get to discuss the things that he is involved in. The question that I was asking is what went on with marriage between Lori and Kent, this alleged marriage between Lori and Kent. Why do I feel like it's not even a real marriage? I see no evidence of the marriage occurring, or like it just seems like I don't know if a marriage can occur across 16 years. I don't know if it can happen that many times across 2 documents. And like I said, we have the other documents, and we will show you them at the beginning of next week. Well, fortunately for me, another sleuth, someone in Marblehead, Massachusetts, said, how can I help? I have access to documents here. I can take a look and see what I can find, Lori and Kent. And they were not able to pull up any marriage documents. Doesn't mean that they don't exist, but they were able to pull up some deeds where Lori and Kent had signed the deeds over, and when they had first received the deed to their home in Marblehead, Massachusetts. And there's a little interesting tidbit here where Lori and Kent are listing as having been a couple from Rhode Island, from North Kingstown, Rhode Island. North Kingston, Rhode Island. First off, I want to...
Everybody that I've been talking about with this, that's seen this, said, Mac, look at it. She's trying to get us fucking self off.
Rhode Island, which is about 2 miles long, and is just the University of Rhode Island campus, where I graduated from. And then there's South Kingstown, North Kingstown, and apparently they lived there, except I can't find a trace of Lori and Kent having lived in Rhode Island. So my Rhode Island sleuths, people down at the county maybe in Rhode Island, if you want to take a peek and see if you can find this couple, this lovely couple, and maybe they got married in Rhode Island. Well, I guess no, because their divorce docs say they got married in Marblehead, Massachusetts, but people are saying they can't find those divorce docs, but this makes it seem like they maybe got married in Rhode Island. But you can maybe just get married in Marblehead while you're living together in Rhode Island. Maybe they were renting property. I don't know, but I want to know. You find something, Rhode Islanders, hit me up. More tips at CandaceOwens.com. More tips at CandaceOwens.com. Now jumping back into our Erica timeline. Now, we talked about how she went to this school, Tesseract. It's also going to be a scam, financial scam, but that's fine.
Because I'm trying to see how it all ties in. Double tap screen. I was about to say that. She's trying to get whacked.
She's the victim. After Erica Francefay leaves Tesseract in 2000 because the school was facing a financial crisis, I also want to point out, like I said, the school's being run by Jewish women. They're even renting from a Jewish school, the Looking Glass.
You don't want this woman in your business. I'm telling you. You do not want this woman in your business. Wow, she went and got a picture of all the fucking owners. Hold up.
Financial crisis. I also want to point out, like I said, the school's being run by Jewish women. They're even renting from a Jewish school, the Looking Glass. And stereotypically, I want to say something. Stereotypically, Jewish people are known for very good accounting, but not in this case. Not sure what happened there.
Uh-oh.
Thereafter, there is evidence, and we have not been able to find anything concrete, but there is evidence that Erica went back up to Ohio for about 3 years, from 2000 to 2002. She apparently attended a school known as St. Ursula Villa. St. Ursula Villa is actually separate from St. Ursula Academy. It's a privately owned, and at first glance, you would think it was a Catholic school, but actually, despite its name, despite it being on the St. Ursula Academy property, it was not owned by the nuns as St. Ursula Academy was. St. Ursula Villa actually had private funding and private, it was completely separate from the Catholic Church at this time, from what I'm able to see. So, and I cannot pull up who was funding this school at that time. So if you have yearbooks from St. Ursula Villa, not the broader academy, but St. Ursula Villa, from the years 2000 to, let's take it up to 2003, and you see Erica Francefay in there, or you remember her being there, please reach out to us. Like I said, these two schools were operating same place, separate entities. Send us an email. What happens next in her life, though, is pretty easy to document. Erica is at Notre Dame Prep, and I should note, I did not know this at the time, but Notre Dame Prep was formerly the Tesseract School, the one that they had to shutter in North Scottsdale. Now the doors are reopened, and it's Notre Dame Prep. And it's very easy to document Erica throughout these years. In 2003, she's playing volleyball because she gets involved in sports. We can just find her. And I also want to say this, it's also easy to track her because despite her claim that she got into pageantry because she got a mailer one year. Let's roll that clip of what she said again yesterday.
Was it after that, that's when you started pageants? Or when did that come about?
Right. So the pageant world to me is something that it was an interesting season of life. It was nothing that I was ever groomed for. It was nothing that was ever on my radar. I just, yeah, I wanted to play professional basketball.
Tomboy.
That was my thing ever since I was 5. Like that was I wanted to play, and that was all I wanted to do. I was a gym rat, for lack of a better term. And I remember getting something in the mail when I had come home from school one summer, and it was like, hey, you should compete at Miss Arizona USA. Someone nominated you. And I was like, I don't know who would nominate me for that, but okay. So I shared it.
Donald Trump ran that shit too, by the way.
Viewing all the different things that you have to go through. And I thought to myself, if I were to ever win this, the most important thing out of it would be to be able to make a difference with the title. I don't care about the
Heard you, Sonny.
I just want to be able to overbook myself, being able to get involved with the local communities, with the local organizations that are actually making a difference. So
don't you find it funny that they hated Charlie Kirk? They hated Charlie Kirk. Hated him so bad that they killed him. But they love Erica Kirk? I don't get that. They hate Charlie Kirk. They did everything to shut him down. They disrespected him. The Turning Point events used to be fucking a circus. You know? I covered a bunch of this shit. All right? They hated Charlie, but they love Erica.
For me, was something that was not a form of narcissism. It was more along the terms of being a steward for my state, especially as it hit our 100th year celebration.
Okay, so it wasn't about narcissism.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. If they hated me if they hated me and I died, and then they start showing my wife, I hope my wife is smart enough to watch it, motherfuckers.
She wasn't groomed. By the way, if you have to say that you weren't groomed for something, you probably were. You have to just kind of say that. It's probably because you were. And the reality is that every single year from 2005 through to 2012, Erica was involved in beauty.
Nah, that's heavy makeup today. She definitely ain't getting no work done. Because you can see the real, let me explain something. You can see the real N-word. Like you look up at that hairline, that's the real N-word. Everything under that light color, that is makeup, sir. Makeup. It's a lot of makeup. So trust me, there's some lines up under there, bro. You know, still a bad chick.
Pageants. So that's 7 years of her life that we could find. There could be more. There could be, she could have been doing pageantry while she was in Ohio for a couple of years. I'll let you know, keep you posted. I should also add here that some pageant women disputed her narrative. They wrote to us that she was just randomly invited. They said that minors in particular are not just freely solicited to join pageant world, and that their photo has to be submitted by a parent or a guardian. I'm not an expert on that, and maybe I wasn't pretty enough. I was a little funny looking and a little bit of an underbite, but I never received any of these mailers that she's talking about. Anyway, let's jump into an Erica timeline, and you guys can follow along here. 2005, Erica is still attending Notre Dame Prep, and she is playing basketball. She was a junior in high school from 2005 to 2006. She is going to win first runner-up in the National America Miss Arizona pageant, and she will represent Arizona in the...
I hate to address the elephant in the room, but it seemed like, to me, it seemed like Candace is moving kind of like the side chick almost.
Coming All-American Miss...
I love her to death. You know what I'm saying? Aiden, salute. You know what I mean? I got things to do. I got people to do, things to see. Don't worry, I will come back. Long live the brotherhood. Mac, remember, we don't leave our soldiers behind. No one gets left behind. See you tomorrow. That's right. First in, last out. Philo. Good night. Well, good morning.
Pageant in November of 2005, which takes place in Los Angeles. That year...
Lansky ass is up, and he's up in here. I don't see no Lansky. Yeah, I don't see Lansky. Yeah, Lansky ain't here. I don't see Lansky. Lansky asleep. I called him. Yo, Lansky cursed me out because I called him and nigga was like, yo, nigga, you think I don't like to fucking sleep? Some shit like that, man. I don't know, Barry.
Lori Franste is listed in
fillers and Botox, maybe. I don't know. She probably got that type of money right now.
House bill budget for the U.S. Department of Homeland Securities for another business that she has called IMET Laboratories. Like I said, don't ask me what any of her businesses do. It's not clear. In August, just ahead of Erica's senior year, this is 2006 now. In August, just ahead of her senior year, she's going to win the National American Miss Teen pageant, and she wins a chance and takes it to travel to DC to present her plans to Representative J.D. Hayworth and Senator John Kill. Erica becomes involved with a charity known as Andrea's Closet, which works with a hospital in Winslow, Arizona for kids. Erica notes that she stops by that hospital often on the way to basketball games and that she wants to establish her own charity in the future. That year, her father, Kent Franste, is listed as a risk assessment contractor. He's mentioned also as a resident of Surprise, Arizona. Concerned, basically, he's trying to get more funding from the DHS. You get this sense that now the family is like, we need government contracts for stuff. That'll work for us.
I know I'm late, but the reason why I asked that question, or I made that statement rather, is because I'm trying to figure out what is it? What is it? Because, you know, like, I understand you have a hunch, you have you know, you're doing some homework or whatever, but, and she's not necessarily saying that she has something to do with this, but everything is pointing to that direction. It's like we doing a tell-all, we going to find out everything about Erica. And I get it. I get that point that if you don't know about her, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I get the fact that Charlie and Candace was tight. They used to be Batman and Robin at them events, tearing shit up. But yeah, Candace, I'm just trying to figure out what it is. I mean, I get a funny feeling out of Erica too. You know what I'm saying? But not to the point where I feel like but Candace does, and I'm trying to figure out where this is gonna end. I want to see this all the way through.
Lori is going to have to close down.
Definitely Matruski, heavy Matru.
Incorporated.
Heavy Matru.
Because the tax.
Well, her forehead never moves. Well, there's some women that now they got baby hair. You know what I mean? Like you get a a wig, and it comes with baby hair. You know what I'm saying? You never know. I don't know.
Her teen year
I don't know why eyebrows ain't moving.
Of the pageant at the end of a year, and then you have the crown for the following year, for those of you who are like me and do not know how pageantry world works. So if you're competing in 2006, you are competing for 2007, and then 2007 is going to be your year. So that is her Miss American teen year.
You do not want a baby mama like that.
But she's going to graduate from Notre Dame Prep in the spring, receiving a full basketball and academic scholarship to Regis University, which is in Denver, Colorado. She's also named as a finalist for the Arizona Interscholastic Association's Everyday Heroes Award. Okay, that's the first time you're going to hear an expression, Everyday Heroes. We know that's going to end up being what she calls her charity once it gets minted in 2009, but that's it. She got an award for that, and I guess it's stuck. In the 2007 and 2008 school year, Erica is going to begin playing basketball. She got the scholarship, and she does that. Regis University begins in the fall. I could find 2 newspaper entries of her scoring, November 24th game and against South Dakota, and then another entry on December 1st. And yeah, she's seemingly, if I was just following the paper trail, I would say she had abandoned her scholarship, and I was wondering, like, did she transfer to...
They said Erica left the country.
Yola Marymount, like, what happened here?
I don't give a fuck what part of the world she's at. I bet she was listening to this shit.
And you should know, of course, never leave Lori out. Lori's first off, she's listed now as having been married to Larry Ginta. That's the first time that we see that, because Joe Abbas dies, and it looks like she is married Lori and Larry. Maybe they're saying that they're just together, who knows, and that's why they're listing him. I'm not positive. But Lori every year, there's always a new LLC, so Lori is going to file AZ10.
They're going to say like she's a social climber. She only fucked to get up. She, like that. They coming at her like that.
Had already filed that. It gets canceled.
It's nasty work, man. I'm on mute, man. I'm just listening.
So many cancellations. This one gets canceled. 2008 is where it gets pretty interesting because I was trying to find Erica's very present, and suddenly in 2008, I can't find her. Okay, I put this as like Erica's missing school year. Now, she herself disputes this, and various times she says she played basketball for 2 years, and she's going to note in a future alumni packet for Notre Dame that she was indeed playing basketball at Regis University for 2 years, but I could not confirm that. And interestingly enough, Regis University still has her basketball stat page up. And they're on my side. They say they only have a record of her playing from 2007 to 2008. That's the season that she played. Now, she may have just stayed on. It's possible that she continued her study. She said she had an academic scholarship at Regis. I thought that. I was like, maybe she stopped playing basketball and she decided to just focus on her studies, and that's why I can't find her at basketball games. Maybe that's why Regis is not acknowledging that she continued to play. But then I thought, no, I think something else happened here. She does indeed go missing. Because Erica gives an interview in 2020 where she's reflecting on her life. It's a rather obscure interview which has since been removed, by the way. They contacted someone and got this taken down, but not before I got it. Not before I got it and saved it. As soon as I saw it, I said, save this. They're going to start going backwards and trying to delete stuff. And this one was a gem. And she's going to confirm that after she passes her crown, so in 2007, she's wearing the crown, and then she passes her crown, she is going to confirm that she does indeed go missing after that period. So this would be, of course, in 2008. Take a listen to what Erica says herself.
I prayed for God to just strip my ego from all of that stuff, all of that world, all of the plastic hat crown stuff with the banner. That was just, it was me from the standpoint of a philanthropic side, but the hometown hero thing was just weird and it was unhealthy and it was just ego fueling. So I locked myself in my room, basically turned into a hermit for about a good 8 months. The only person I would see outside of my family was my pastor's wife, and we would go to the church and she would just pour into me every single day. And I just was reading scripture and read the Bible cover to cover multiple times.
Have you heard about pop-on roofing?
I don't know why I hate that fucking statement. Pour into me. I don't know. That shit just sounds a little fruity. Shit sounds a little bit zesty. Hey, how about I pour into you? Hey, Ryder, you want me to pour into you? You know what I'm saying? It just don't sound right. I'm gonna pour into you, Apple. You know what I mean? You know, like what if the person you want to pour into, right? Name is Holy Moly. You know what I mean? I want to pour into you, Holy Moly. Or I want to pour into you, Dick. Oh God, why I go there, right? But that's crazy because this is technically impossible. But I'm just saying, pour into you. I hate that shit. That's almost like when people that say, these they be painting the narrative. Man, eat dick. I'm pouring into. Yo, bro, I'm about to go to the block and pour into the homies. I'm gonna pour into the homies, bro. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Sincere just called me, man. He said he fucked up, B. You know what I mean? I'm about to go over there, you know what I mean? Drop something off, pour into him, you know what I'm saying? I'm pour into him. Nope. No pouring.
Report to see no one but her mother and her pastor's wife for 8 months. She says nobody saw her. Check. That's true. I'm highlighting this particular period of time because I suspect that this could potentially represent a time when Erica...
Like a crip, for instance, right? Like, let's say if you had a crip, right? And then the blood was laying in his lap. You know what I mean?
Trained to become a Christian. Again, this is my personal opinion. It's
a big homie.
My podcast, but given what we've learned about Fort Huachuca, an intel base that literally trains Christians, I'm asking myself, was she just training? Was she training to become a Christian?
That's what I said, Rico.
Was she training to be able to impress people like Charlie by just always having a Bible verse? Now she can't even get a sentence.
That's what I'm saying. Like that. But what happens, like, if you need to just take a leak? Is that pouring into someone? That's pouring onto some. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's nothing wrong with that. You know, I have no judgments. I'm talking about R. Kelly type shit. You know what I'm saying? Not the first part. But, you know, never pour into, you fuck around and pour into the wrong person, and you never know what's gonna happen. Yo, I'm gonna tell you something. Legend has it that if you pour into, you ever seen the Austin Powers cat? Like I don't know what those cats are called, where they just got skin. If you pour into one of those cats, they'll look like a chia pet tomorrow.
Without making it somehow a Bible verse or a holy in some degree. And there's something that registers to people as off about that. I want to know, who is her pastor's wife?
I'm going to keep it real, right? I'm not going to lie to y'all, but I will pour into a cat in a heartbeat. I poured into this cat. This cat had no hair when I first met her. She knows that I'm trying to get her attention. You know what I mean? That's why she's looking at me with that wicked little look in her face. That cool little wicked look. Yeah, see? She was mostly like this right here. But then I poured into her. Right? Right, CC? Oh, I poured right on you. I pour on you. Poor little cat. That's why they say poor little kitty. Yeah, this bitch fell out the window, man. She survived 4 fucking stories. Yeah, man. And she changes colors. I swear to God, I can't make this shit up. You know what? Close your mouth, man. What's wrong with you? Close your damn mouth when I'm trying to... fuck politics. You know what I'm saying? Do y'all think Candace Owens got that box, though? Does Candace Owens got the box? I'm talking about that Arrested Development. You know what I mean? The box. You know what I'm saying? That lockup. You know? That 23-1. Dude, she got that box. I'm talking about that Nike, you know? Camouflage cats. Salute to the camouflage cats. You know? She could turn into, like, she's a shadog. She could turn into a dog if she want. She could turn into a tabby. I made this bitch turn into a motherfucking to a Siamese one day. Man, she done fuck around, turned into a dog on a nigga, man. Oh, that's a good shit dog. 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 Where was I? Wow. Hold on to that one cell. All right, talk to text got me again. Oh yeah, they back on the bullshit. I have had some girlfriends who just keep moaning. Nagging. That really feels like she poured the words into my ears till I couldn't take no more. I'm not gonna lie, right? Yeah, the box, Ryder. Box. The box. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it real, man. Dudes be talking about they real pimps and shit, man. You ain't a real pimp until you make a girl use the bathroom and the cat litter. You know what I'm saying? Let me get back to my show, man. I'm sorry, y'all, man. I got sidetracked, man. This your dog. This your dog. See? This your dog. This was a bad attempt at see some fish yesterday. What's your dog? Yeah, I'm gonna be live tonight, man, because y'all don't know what's up with YouTube. But we gonna get it together because the Shadog. The Shadog. You like that? You ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? If you never, let me tell you, if you never made your girl go out in the rain and dodge the raindrops, you know what I'm saying? Then you ain't pimp yet. It's just a dog.
Who is the pastor's wife? Was the only person that saw Erica for 8 months. And again, she is dating when this happened herself. She says she hands over her crown. She wanted to strip herself from all this plastic. And by strip herself, she means she's going to then continue to compete every single year. In fact, she competes that year too. But who is the pastor's wife? We tried to find out by going through her old tweets via an account that Erica has since locked down. Shout out to the mommy sleuth who said, "Hey Candace, I have access. Do you want my password?" Special shout outs to that hero. Not all heroes wear capes. Some people just have logins on X. Okay?
Mommy sleuth.
And what we were able to discern, and again, we're putting this as a possibility, and since Turning Point didn't answer our first slate of questions, there's no point. And actually, we particularly went out 2 days ago with this specific question: who was the pastor? They didn't answer. But we thought a possible church could be the City of Grace, which is in Scottsdale, City of Grace of Scottsdale. Pastor Terry Christ is mentioned on her X feed as early as 2011. She says, "Pastor Terry is awesome." Got some more tweets here. "I cherish your friendship and I'm grateful for your love." Judith Christ, that would be his wife. "You are the epitome of a Proverbs. I'm totally obsessed with City of Grace," she says. "Sunday mornings with my Tyler Massey." Oh, no, you guys know Tyler Massey. She didn't date anybody before. Charlie, oh no, you guys are messing up. My heart is overwhelmed with incredible amounts of joy. Congratulations, Terry Chris, Judith Chris. The vibes are vibing. Now, coincidentally, and I'm going to bring Ashley on in a second to explain a little more, but I'll tell you that Pastor Terry is very close with Brian Houston, the Hillsong Church founder, who infamously attempted to cover up his father's pedophilia. Brian Houston, on his father, who was never charged, said, quote, "I have no doubt now that my father was a serial pedophile and will probably never know the extent of it." That's from him. That's a quote from him. She has been friends since 1994. So Eric has been friends with them. So let me bring on Ashley to explain that, the Terry Christ and Judith and the relation in a better manner, because she's way deeper down that rabbit hole than I am.
Yeah, so like we said, Pastor Terry Christ and his wife, Pastor Judith Christ, they were very close with Erica at this time. From 2011 to around 2016 is where we can track their relationship. And interestingly, Pastor Terry Christ has a very interesting background. So he is very good friends with Brian Houston, who was the founder of Hillsong. And like you said, he was very much he covered up his father's pedophilia for years, and he actually never got charged for it. And so Brian Houston resigned eventually, and then right afterwards, Pastor Terry Christ also resigned from his church that he was leading, but he said it wasn't related. So nothing to see there. And then one other weird thing that happened was Pastor Terry Christ and his wife were accused of having, well, this is just word on the street, but they would have their congregants throw up into bags to get rid of bad spirits. And so that's just word on the street, allegedly.
Allegedly. I will say that even regarding the pastor, even though his son is making the allegation that he believes his father was a pedophile, if he was not charged, then we cannot state that definitively. But, there seems to be some smoke there. That is what has been alleged, even by his own son. And like I said, I'm not deep on that, but it is interesting. And I am not certain this is the pastor's wife that she went into training with. I'm not certain she had to throw up in a bag, to get rid of bad spirits. But I do know that YouTube will do what it has to do. The YouTube creators will do what they have to do. The Baron Colemans, the Nisas, they'll do what they have to do to get to the bottom of that. Because this is an interesting turning point in Erica's life, in my view. And she strikes me as someone who There are going to be some psychiatrists in her life and some psychologists. There's just that is what people are perceiving is a spiritual darkness. And sometimes spiritual darkness comes from people who are purporting to be spiritually light. People who can't get out a sentence without saying the Lord, the Lord, the Lord. Yeah. Could have something else going on, as we just learned with the Hillsong scandal. Look, that's all we know for sure. Otherwise, we can confirm to you guys that despite Erica's hiatus, 8-month hiatus according to her, she does make it to compete for Miss USA Colorado 2009.
I would agree because, you know, she does make mention of the Lord, and she's not a pastor. And on top of that, why did she hide the fact that she had other dudes that she was fucking with? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, why would you say that Charlie was your first and all? I don't get it. I'm not, you know.
And she places third runner-up. So that's 2008. We are going to leave it there. We can show you.
She's low-key exposing her, and the headshot is going to be later on. That's why Erica left.
I guess you already saw the timeline, so you guys are good. We're going to take a very brief break. We'll be right back.
Let me explain something.
Oh, right, you guys, the chemtrail climate exposures are going full force this one.
Let me tell you something about the internet, right? In this world that we live in today. You don't need to be, you don't absolutely need to be guilty for people to find, like whatever they're talking about, if it leads to something else, because they put you on the plate. You know what I'm saying? Just because they got you up in the conversation, whatever it is about you to pull out, they're going to find it. Even if it's not the original thing that they were saying, they're going to find something. A lot of people, you know, low-key don't like her, but they're like showing on the other side, it's weird because they show more love to her than they showed to fucking Charlie.
They're becoming more frequent and intense. Don't let illness catch you off guard while stranded in a bad situation. Order your kit now by heading to twc.health/Candace and use code Candace at checkout to save up to $45 off, plus get free shipping. Again, that's twc.health/Candace. Heading to TW.
I think that is weird, right? For her to be, you know, like for people that feels like it's weird for her to be speaking, doing the advertisements and shit like that. You know, I think that's stupid for you. You know, what the fuck did I just do? Oh, my bad. HDMI. Apple TV. My bad. Ooh, child. MacMean. All right, let's go there. Right. Dumb killer thinks the camera didn't see him. The camera was rolling on this boy, eating in Africa, in the wildest fish, America's poorest country. Let me see. Let me show you what I'm looking at. My bad. What y'all want to say? America's poorest country? Dr. Phil snaps on. Oh, I'm tired of talking about that girl. He murdered his grandparents 7 days after getting out of jail. No, he didn't, man. He black.
Are you wearing 7 layers and still freezing your man nipples? You need the new 340 GSM military grade bearskin hoodie to get comfortable.
To all the watch time party. We having us a good old watch time party, y'all. Send it to the phone, no. Now what this dude did?
Went back to jail, got out last week. Has he been staying here with them? My mom tried to get a restraining order and they said he wasn't violent, so they wouldn't give her a restraining order, so she let him stay back here.
She said something's wrong in the head. She said he just doesn't compute up here.
I'm looking for Jordan.
I haven't talked to him in weeks. Jordan's granddad.
I'm about to get up out of here. Ooh, child. Yeah, Lansky, I'm out of here, man. The YouTube's all fucked up right now. Salute to everybody that's new here, man. You know, thank you for pulling up, man. Gotta go. Let me end this poll. 62%. A lot of people like her. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people like Candace. All right, we out.